If you've been at a job 14 years, 16 years, and through no fault of your own, you lose that job, the next one's not going to last 14 or 16 years. That's not what the data says. But, that's where we come in. Good morning, everybody. This is Franchise Feedback. My name is Terry Coker. I am here with my friend Ray Fanning. Would you like to say good morning to everybody, Ray?
Good morning, everybody. This is Ray Fanning from Hire Your Best Boss.
And Ray and I are franchise consultants. Okay, so what is a franchise consultant? Most people that I've met over my 15-year career as a franchise consultant don't know. So we work with people who think they want to be small business owners to identify franchises that fit a defined strategy, and the strategy is all about them or all about you. And so we help them go through the due diligence to understand how they want to live, work, and play. What did I miss, Ray?
Terry, you did not miss a thing.
You're too kind this morning. And so we get together weekly and we open up our email inboxes, but we've been in business long enough to call those mailbags in the original days when we started. So we open up the mailbag, we see what's there, and we answer some questions live from the marketplace. So what came in this week that you'd like to talk about, Ray?
Terry, this week I pulled out of the mailbox a question we've been seeing a lot. So it's from Mike in Ohio. And Mike's question has to do with being in a cycle, kind of a dead end cycle.
A dead end cycle.
He asked, help. It's always a good start. Help. Every 18 to 24 months, I keep losing my job or having to switch jobs. What are my options?
I talked to a gentleman like that this week myself. So what did you tell Mike?
Well, the first thing I told Mike was that the reality is that we see these questions and these experiences an awful lot. 18, 24 months, being let go or being made obsolete. And sometimes not only let go, but sometimes you just leave because there's no opportunity. I told him that he owned his own career, whether it's with one company, like maybe your dad or mom had a one company, one career. It's not really normal anymore unless you own the business. And I told him that if he could get off that cycle, he'd have to look and see if he wanted to get off the cycle. He asked me, how would I do that? What are my options? And I'm like, well, that's what we do. You get to hire your own boss by looking and saying, well, I can take a job and these are the things I get. I can hire my own boss and be the guy I hire, and I can create my future. I want your feedback on this as well. I also told him a lot of that decision is going to come down to not only his skill sets, but his time frame. You agree?
Yeah, totally agree. Does he want something that generates an income very quickly? Does he have a longer runway where he wants to put a manager in place, take a little bit longer? Or, possibly he might look for a very short-term job. And I want to come back to that idea where he can build a business while he's working. And then when he loses that next job, which, inevitably will happen, that's what the data says today, then he has a business already in place. So that length of runway makes a lot of difference. The gentleman I talked to in the Northeast this week was calling me because his entire division had just been wiped out, right? They got the call, all of them same time, gone. And he was really frustrated because he got a lot of accolades. The whole division was told that they were performing really well. And to say that he was frustrated was a bit of an understatement. And he said, 18 months I've been here, right? And the job previous to this was 19 months. And I said, well, what about before that? And, he'd had a really, really long career, but he's on that roller coaster where jobs aren't lasting as long. And that's just the data, right? That's across all ages. That's just the data today. If you've been at a job 14 years, 16 years, and through no fault of your own, you lose that job, the next one's not going to last 14 or 16 years. That's not what the data says. But, that's where we come in. You can own a business. Depending on your age, you can own a business for 14, 15, or 16 years. And if that's the amount of time, that you have left in your career and you want one thing, I think business ownership has a real advantage there over today's employment market. What do you think?
Terry, it reminds me of a client I have out in California who is in mid-career and is tired of the roller coaster and wants to hire her own boss and be her own boss now, because not just for the money, which is attractive to her, the potential opportunity there, but because she wants that control from now until the end of her career, whenever that may be. So that's a point that I think sometimes a lot of people have that point, and they don't even know how to necessarily speak it into being.
Something where someone can have a transparent conversation about their career with people like you and me who've been doing this for, myself 15 years, you longer than that. We've had thousands of these conversations. So if you'd like a one-on-one conversation with either one of us, right? Our names are there. You can leave a comment down below. You can direct message us, and we would be happy to schedule a time where we can get together and talk about that career roller coaster, and more importantly, what we can do about it. So let's wrap up today, Ray. Any final thoughts?
I do have one final thought. I've been hearing a lot from folks who not only are in the situation themselves, but they know people who are in the situation. So if you know someone who could use that, that talk or some of our free services just to help them as they kind of boundary scan and see what's available to them, why don't you drop their name below, and we'll know to send them a quick message and invite them for a quick conversation.
Yeah, if you've been having coffee with maybe somebody you worked with a couple jobs ago and you say, you should be a business owner, that's the person, that we could really help. So thank you for viewing, and catch you next week.